get your beverage. Right. So, just recently I did a little video telling you my plans for sewing. I'm still going to do those, absolutely, 100%. We are doing those. But I've got a little addition to those plans. So, I think it was before Halloween, so we're in November now, it's like the 22nd of November today. So before Halloween I was watching, you know, some Halloween sewing videos, and I came across Robin Larson and her quilted jacket. She is actually a quilter and a sewer, so she said, you know, like we've all seen everybody doing these thrifted, you buy a quilt, you cut it up, you make it into a jacket. And she said as a quilter she couldn't cut apart someone else's quilt that they'd spent a lot of time making, because she knows how much work goes into it and all that, and she just didn't feel right doing it. So she said, well, why don't I make my own quilt specifically for the jacket? And I thought, well, that's a great idea. So I started thinking about it, and then I've got all these scraps that are right up my street that I don't want to waste, and I'm thinking I could make a quilt out of those. Not really done much quilting in the past. I've done some, dabbled. So it's going to be, well, I thought it was going to be a fairly simple quilt. It's just squares maybe. That idea might change if I haven't been scammed on Etsy or through Pinterest. I've got to see if that order comes through for a pattern. If not, I'm a bit concerned I'm going to get in touch with PayPal, but never mind. So I was going to use this jacket pattern, which would have meant that I would have to trace, because these, if you've never used a primer pattern before, they just come, there's several patterns here, all on one massive sheet. There's even a cross stitch pattern there. So yeah, it all comes on one massive sheet, and you just, because it's double-sided, you can't just cut it out, so you have to trace it, which is fine, you know, I was going to do that. And then I saw a video by Stitch in Heaven, so I just had to check, double check the name, Stitch in Heaven. I'm going to link both these videos down below. It was a very, very basic beginner quilt, and basically what they did was they took a sweatshirt and they cut it apart, and they used that as both the template and the batting for the jacket, and I was like, genius. So that is what I plan to do. I bought a second-hand sweatshirt from eBay from a pre-loved company. It was about £2 something, £2.25, something daft like that. So hopefully that will arrive, and you have to buy one that's bigger than the size you need. So yeah, so basically that's my plan, and then there's a lot of decisions that I need to make. So I need to decide, am I just going to use black and white? I'm going to be having some scraps of this fabric. You've seen this. Get it out. All my future projects are in here. So this bats with the flowers, so there's going to be a pop of red in there. So my decision is going to be, I'm also going to have a lot of purple scraps. Do I incorporate some purple into the jacket? I might have to see how all these fabrics look together. Do they look cohesive enough? Or am I just going to stick to black and white and red? Don't know. Also, I was thinking I've got some purple fabric left over from the skirt that I've just started. Am I able to use enough of that to make the lining? Because I want to line this. I don't want to faff about with binding the insides. I just want to make a lining, and I'll just bind the edges of the jacket. So I'll make a lining using the sweater as a template. I'll use that as a pat piece, and I'll make an exact copy in the lining fabric and just sew it inside. Bag it out sort of thing, easy. And then what I'll probably do is I'll leave the bottom edge open to turn it all inside out, and then I'll just bind the whole lot. That should be simple enough, she says. So yeah, so this might be either one long video. I'm not sure whether to cut it into bits. So you'll see this bit with the planning stages, and hopefully when the jumper arrives I'll show you that, and then maybe start cutting that out. And then, because this is going to be quite a long-term project, I think, because obviously I need to make my dress out of that fabric before I start cutting any pieces off that. So it's going to be one of those where I cut out some pieces, leave it to one side, and when I've got what I think is going to be all my pieces, I'll start sewing the quilt pieces together, things like that. So yeah, I've just realised I've forgotten to wear my microphone for this whole video. So sorry if the sound quality is a bit different. It shouldn't be too bad. My mic wasn't very bad on this, I don't think. It should be okay. You'll probably be able to hear the oven. Bella's just sitting here watching me. What's up, baby? Waiting for your dinner. You coming? He's not coming. He's just sitting there judging me. Okay, so. Oh, I got a kiss. Where's it? He's not gonna like this. Oh. Oh. Look. Say hello. Good boy, go on. Doesn't like it when I pick him up. Oh no. Right, I thought I'd lost my place in my book then. So yeah, crazy ramble, random tangent. Let's see what happens with that. You will hopefully be seeing the clip now of the sweater. Oh my gosh, he just came. Ah, look at this, look at this. Ah. Ready, ready. So not sponsored, unless anyone wants to sponsor me. Thank you, Pear. I love them. I'm going to order some more tops. Okay, so got a real quick update because I'm getting ready for work. So this is the shirt that I'm going to be using. I could possibly have gone a size bigger, but what I'm thinking actually is, if I cut my pieces, my quilted pieces, larger than this, kind of adding a seam allowance to the quilted pieces, this can go in the middle and I can sort of steer clear of the seam allowance, and I can quilt it down to the front quilt piece like a little half sandwich. And then yeah, then my seam allowances will be clear so that I can sew just the outer pieces together to reduce some of that bulk that's going to be in the seams. That seems like a good plan to me. In the video that I'm following, or that inspired me, they just, you know, used the whole piece, and just went 2 sizes bigger than the size that you would normally wear, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, so the other thing, this was the questionable bit that I was worried about in the last little section. It finally worked. I finally got my download sent to me, so this is what I'm going to be doing for the pockets, and I'm going to have like a couple of these on the jacket, so I'm doing 8 patches, and I'm doing the smaller one, And so far, this is where I've got to. So I've got 8 each of these pieces. So I'm not going to go through how this goes together. I will link the pattern in the description, because obviously someone's put a lot of hard work into making this quilt block pattern. So you should go check that out and go buy it if you want to do it, because it seems to be going together quite easily at the moment. I think I said this in the beginning, I'm not a quilter, so this is a challenge for me, but basically I am I've taken the advice of Robin Larson in her video and doing, so I've got the next step all ready to go. These are 8 pieces just to whiz on the sewing machine one after the other. Do it like a production line. So yeah, that's what's next. So I'm going to try and get as much of that done before I have to go to work as possible. I might show you the quilt blocks finished and how I'm going to make the pockets. I think we'll do the pockets together, and then that might be the end of this video, and then in the next video we'll be cutting this apart to use as our template. We'll be making our lining and starting the quilt process. Don't know if I'll do that as one video and then just show you the end result. I'll probably split it up a little bit. Yeah, I think I will. I think this might be a 3-parter. Just some bite-sized videos for you so it doesn't get too boring. And you can follow the series along if you want to, kind of thing. So I'm going to go away and try and get some of that done before I have to go to work, as I say. Okay, so I have my back pieces. Don't look too closely if you're a quilter. I'm not a quilter. So I've done 6 of these. 2 of them are going to be our pockets. So I've got my batting, which needs to go on the back of here. And then I need to add my lining fabric, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the sides, turn it the right way, and then put some purple on the top as a cover. And you know what I mean, like bias binding. So yeah, let's do that.